when you meet a girl, there is, you could say, a story being told from the first moment. Right? From the moment you say hi, there's a story being told. There's a story of who you are, there's a story of who she is, and there's a story of who you guys are together. And there are a variety of stories that lead to sex, right? But you want to tell one of those stories, right? The story that leads to sex that you're in the most control of, which is why it's my default plot line that I use, is there's some tension between us. There's clearly like, we're both high value, but there's tension. There's something stopping us from getting together. There's something preventing sex from happening or us dating or something like that. And then over time, that tension is resolved, okay? In my mind, that's the most repeatable, best sort of go-to frame. But there are other frames, right? You may have seen recently the video on Sweetie Game, right? Which the idea there is, oh, I like you, but nothing's gonna happen between us, right? As opposed to, I don't like you yet, right? So let me back off. Normally, in terms of the plot line I gave you, there'll be 3 stages. Stage 1 is, I don't like you, or I don't like you yet. Stage 2 is, I'm starting to like you. And stage 3 is, I like you, but there's still some obstacle, okay? And that's usually the most robust overall strategy, and that's what you should probably plan on having be the case in most of your sets. So you start off going in disagreeing with the girl, giving her shit, giving her a hard time, but in a playful, fun way where you're both high-value people, right? And then over time, she wins you over, and then you say, okay, I like you, but we're still not gonna have sex tonight. Or you can come back to my place, but I have to get up early in the morning, and eventually you go there. The idea of Sweetie Game, which again we did the video on recently, would be to just skip to stage 3. You just skip to like, I like you, but nothing's gonna happen between us. And that's also fine, that's another plot line that can work, right? But the key thing you need to have is interest plus tension. Right? And if you look at every single thing that we use as a technique in game, interest plus tension. I do a push-pull. Part of me loves you, part of me hates you. Interest, part of me loves you. Tension, part of me hates you, right? I have to go in a minute, but you're quite cute. Okay, you're quite cute is interest. I have to go in a minute is disinterest and an obstacle to us meeting each other, right? Like you can come back to my place, but honestly, like I'm going to bed at like 3 a.m. is absolute bedtime. I'm not letting you, I'm going to sleep. Nothing's happening past 3 a.m. Like you have to promise me 7 early morning. Promise, right? So again, tension over the fact that she's coming home with you, tension and interest. Disinterest over the fact that like it's bedtime at 3 a.m., nothing's gonna happen, right? So you're gonna see this push-pull nature, this dichotomy of tension and disinterest or tension and non-neediness over and over and over again in game. And that's what you're conveying over and over again. So as the amount of teasing you're doing in the set decreases, and so therefore there's not as much tension, it's not quite as much fun, what you need to be doing is you're escalating in some other way, and that's creating the tension. So for example, there's less teasing, but now you're talking about a more sexual topic, and so now it's equally as engaging and fun and interesting for the girl as it would have been otherwise, right? Or you're not teasing as much, but you're making out periodically, and that keeps it fun, and so that has replaced the other, right? Now, what you're talking about, what you seem to be talking about is a different phenomenon, which is once you've escalated, you've killed the tension, right? And so that can be a thing as well. So, but usually that's only if you over-escalate, okay? So here's absolute move that every single one of you needs to do. And I apologize to the guys here if you do it and your girls are here, and I'm sorry, you brought the girls, so it's your fault. You can't do it on them maybe, but whatever. But here's the move that every one of you should do. And this goes from the first kiss, but it goes to all the kisses. On the first kiss and on later kisses as well, kiss a little and then pull away first. Like it's absolutely like the most clutch move in all of game, with like hands down, okay? And this is something girls do all the time. They're always the one that like during the escalation, they're the one stopping it, and it's always, as guys, it's very frustrating. Here's another little tip. Anything a girl has ever done that frustrates you, and you're like, what the fuck, and makes you feel like you don't know if she likes you, number one, don't get reactive in the moment. But number two, later on be like, that thing she did, that was a really good move. I could do that, all right? How do I learn this? Like girls did this to me. Like they'd kiss and they'd pull away, and I wanted more, right? But then when I kiss and I pull away, they want more. And so when you kiss and kiss and kiss and make out, at a certain point, the making out gets old. And now you've killed the tension. And also, if you're the one constantly pursuing the makeout or pursuing the physical, now the girl knows she can have you, right? Whereas if you kiss a little bit and pull away, if you keep that teasing going, then now she doesn't completely know she can have you. And yes, this sounds manipulative, but it's also giving a girl a good experience. It's actually good foreplay. Right? And the girl was going to have a more fun time throughout the night with you. She's going to have better sex with you, all of that. from the fact that she has that tension, from the fact that it's not so obvious, et cetera, et cetera. So definitely you can do, and you can do that with anything, right? You can do that with kissing and pulling away. You can do that with another move I love to do is like you take the girl's like you take the girl's bra like part way off, like you can kiss here, even like kiss the nipple, but then you put the bra back on, and then just go back to like just chilling and kissing and stuff like that. And it's very interesting because like almost every single guy, as soon as an item of clothing comes off, the guy's like, keep it off, right? The idea that you like just put it back on is good. And it actually like your vibe and your attitude throughout the escalation process and getting physical and all that kind of stuff should be patient and should be one of foreplay. Right? It should be an attitude of making it as exciting as possible for you and the girl and making the experience as good as possible. Right? And don't think of the process of moving towards sex as like ticking a bunch of boxes, right? There's a whole like, you guys don't have baseball here, but like in the United States, there's a whole like first base, second base, third base, whatever, right? Don't be thinking about it as ticking boxes. Getting closer to sex is not so much about like what body parts you've touched and stuff like that. It's about what emotions the girl is feeling and how much she is liking you, how aroused she is. That should be your focus, not about like, ticking boxes or getting this item of clothing off or stuff like that. And if that is your focus, the clothes will come off by themselves. Right? If the girl is really into it and the girl's really aroused and turned on, the clothes coming off will not be the hard part. So that's another thing to think about in terms of the escalation. But if you're thinking of the escalation as each escalation is an achievement, then that's going to definitely hurt you. And if once you have done a certain thing, you're like clinging to it and trying to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it, you don't want to be needy about your escalation. All right, it should flow. And the most important thing is not how far you've gotten, but the frame of it. So I say this oftentimes. If I had a choice between a situation where I'm kissing the girl a lot, but she's like the one ending the kiss first, versus we're just sitting and she sometimes takes my hand unprovoked, I'd prefer to have the situation where we haven't kissed yet, but she's taking my hand unprovoked. I care more that she's the one initiating the contact and she's the one chasing and she's the one that wants more than I care about how many boxes I've ticked or how close to sex we've gotten. I think that's a much better approach in terms of effectiveness, but also a much better approach in terms of just the overall experience for everybody.